Hey guys, it's Mike, and we're back with another deck profile, and you can probably guess what we're covering. It's Traptrix. Alright, so to start, the thing that never changes. Triple Murmello, triple Pudica, triple Mantis. These are your starters. I don't think I would ever cut any of these, given that Murmello is your creature tutor, Murmello is your trap tutor, Mantis is your creature tutor, and Pudica just being a banish that also gets you your field spell, which is an amazing extender. Yeah, these are never changing. And then the other Traptrix monsters, 2 Dionea, 2 Kampa, and the Vesiculo that I really like to run. You could play 3 Dionea. I don't really see a reason to, because normally 2 is enough. Same with Arachno Kampa. That could be the Vesiculo. I like Vesiculo because she has some weird interactions, and unlike Arachno Kampa, Vesiculo does not lock you into insect or plant extra deck monsters, which is relevant sometimes, like when you're going first and you draw an evenly matched. Alright, remaining creatures. The only ones that aren't hand traps, 3 Parallel Exceed. For people that just buy 3 structure decks, this is actually the first upgrade I recommend getting. This thing is just insane for getting you into your plays, and it lets you go real fast. 3 Ash Blossom, like I say in pretty much every deck I play. This is just so generic and good, especially if you don't know what people play at your locals. Ash is very rarely dead. It might not always be the best thing you can do, but very rarely is it a bad card. And then we're on to Ghost Ogre. It might not always be the best hand trap, but Traptrix's biggest problem is dealing with things that are already on the board, and Ghost Ogre helps with that just being removal. When we get to my sideboard, it has a lot of things like that just help with removing creatures that are already on the board, because keeping them off the board is what you're good at. Alright, and on to traps. 3 Holotail, probably the best one in the deck. You grab it off Murmello. It is your best extender. Yeah, this in your hand with a name and a Parallel Exceed, you're doing pretty good. Still on 2 Floodgate and 2 Gravediggers. You could run 1 Gravediggers. I was tired of drawing it and then getting hit by a Nibiru, so we're on 2 because that makes the odds of drawing your both copies a lot lower. Alright, and then the Singleton Trap Holes, we're on 1 Nightmare and 1 Bottomless. Bottomless can really be whatever you want. It could be Terrifying, or the new one that's effectively a reverse Bottomless. This is just what I'm running right now because this is good against Branded. This one being a negate is just really powerful. I'll probably always run 1 Nightmare, but this is really a flex spot. It's whatever you want to deal with. Then we're on 3 Evenly Matched. You're really good going first, but you're going second is hard, so evenly. Plus, it pitches to Holotea. And as I said before, one of the nice things, even if you're going first, when you have evenly, you can just set it and then send it and special Vesiculo. So that's a nice little extender there. And it makes use of your evenly matched when you otherwise might not be able to use it and just have it be a dead card in your hand. And the last 3 traps. 3 Imperms. They're a little expensive, but this is one of the other upgrades I would strongly recommend for Traptrix with the 3 structure decks, because it's a trap, it's also a hand trap, it negates things, it's just amazing. Then your spells. I'm on 2 Garden, because it's really good to naturally draw Garden, actually, because Garden plus almost any 2 names is really, really powerful.
Another thing I'll mention about Infinite Impermanence, this format's really good because it plays under Shifter, plays around Talents, and it plays around Thrust.
Good point. Thank you, Jay. And we're on 2 Talents. I really like this card. Yeah, not a whole lot to say. Pretty much every one of my lists runs Talents now. Let's go on to the extra deck. 3 Sarah, pretty standard. Link 1, you shouldn't play less than 3 in my personal opinion. And then the only other link I'm playing is Oedipus. Kularia, in my experience, is slow, but your mileage may vary, so give her a shot. And Adipus is just your way of closing the game out. I don't play access code. I do have one. I've thought about trying it, but Adipus is normally good enough to just finish a game out. Then the XYZs, we've got 2 Rafflesias, 2 Pingus, and an Allomeris. Pingu's really good. I did have her at 1. I really like her at 2, given that she's another creature tutor, and her weird little interaction where if something gets banished or thrown in the graveyard, she can pick it up. And then I love Allomeris. She's probably my favorite Traptrix, especially with the put 3 under her and then detach 2 to reanimate a Pudica, banish something with the Pudica, and then steal it with Allomeris. It's just, she doesn't come up often enough for you to want more than 1, but she's my favorite. And then the non-Traptrix, although he's pretty much an unofficial Traptrix, Redoer. He is the first extra deck monster I would recommend people to buy for this deck. He's really cheap. He's like $2 or $3, and he's just so good. Again, dealing with that problem of Traptrix have a hard time getting things off the board that are already there. Redoer's amazing. You make him off of a Holitea and another monster. You can spin something to the top of your opponent's deck, and then he eats a card every turn and keep doing it. Also, if your opponent evenlies, you just banish him, and then he comes back, so they don't completely get rid of your whole board. Laguska, he's just a good wall. If you brick, or you're worried about your opponent doing something, you can just make Laguska and sit on him. Evil Swarm, he is a baby Zeus, and he's easier to get out than Zeus sometimes. He's kind of expensive. He's one of the extra deck monsters that I don't think you need, but I really like him. And then we're still on Merrymaker and a Sargus for Zeus. If you don't have a Zeus, if you can afford him, given that he's like $10 right now, I would strongly recommend picking up a Zeus. I don't think you need 2. But 1 is really good. Again, dealing with that core problem of Traptrix have a hard time when something's already on the board, and Zeus can deal with that. Plus, I mean, what XYZ deck doesn't play Zeus? Okay, and then the sideboard. Talking about removing things again. Pank. 3 Kaijus. You don't have to play Turtle. The structure deck comes with ones that are just fine. Turtle's the lowest attack. That's why you play Turtle. The insect one is fine. Any of the others are fine. The main thing you want is, if you can, you want to make sure at least Pingu can beat over whatever Kaiju you're playing. Because you don't want to give your opponent a Kaiju and then make the unfortunate realization that you cannot kill the monster you just gave them, because that would be really bad. Then 3 anti-spell. This card is broken. You can main deck it if it's relevant in your locals. Mine, I haven't felt it necessary to main deck. Also, I'm running things like talents, but it is definitely an option. Like if there's a bunch of branded or runic running around, main deck it by all means. 3 Solemn. We lose really hard to evenly, so we're playing Solemn. You can also do something like Lancia. I just figured Solemn was the most generic answer, and I actually really like Solemn Judgment. It's a good card. And then I'm doing something very similar in my Sky Striker list. 2 Cyclones, 3 Dark Rulers. I really like Dark Ruler. It can deal with problematic effects. It doesn't technically get rid of monsters on the board, but it kind of pseudo gets rid of monsters on the board if the problem was they have a negate or an effect that's really hard for you to deal with. And Cyclone banishing things is sometimes relevant for Fountains, or if you're going against Labyrinth, or even, you know, another Traptrix deck that you just need to get rid of their trap holes so they can't put them back in their deck and fling them off with Rafflesia. Yeah, so that's my list. Hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe, and thank you for the reminder on those effects, Jay. I appreciate it. Till next time.